You know, there are some parts of the Bible that are just so epic they feel like a blockbuster movie. And we're about to dive into one of the biggest, the war in heaven from the book of Revelation. It's this incredible scene of cosmic conflict, but what if the battle isn't really what it looks like on the surface? Let's crack this code together.
So here's the verse that kicks it all off. Revelation 12:7. I mean, just listen to that. It paints this amazing picture, right? You've got Michael the archangel leading this heavenly army against a giant dragon. It is a massive celestial showdown, and honestly, it's captured people's imaginations for thousands of years.
And that leads us to the big question, doesn't it? Is this meant to be a literal future fight with angels and dragons duking it out in the sky? Or is John, the guy who wrote Revelation, using some really powerful symbols to talk about something else? Maybe a conflict that's a whole lot closer to home.
To figure this out, we have to kind of play detective. Our first move is to get out the magnifying glass and zoom way in, all the way down to the original Greek words that were used. You'll see the clues to what this war is really about are hidden right there in the language. Okay, check this out. The original Greek gives us our first big clues. The word for war here is polemos. This doesn't mean a little argument, it means a real active battle. The bad guy, the drakon, is this powerful, monstrous dragon. But the real kicker is the verb epilemesin. It shows the dragon fought back. This is not a one-sided stomping, it is a full-blown two-sided war. So putting those clues together, the language itself is screaming that this is a genuine, intense, two-sided fight. It's not just a metaphor for a disagreement. There are two distinct armies, two leaders, and a very real war happening. But the question still remains, where? And, maybe more importantly, when?
All right, so with those clues about the language in our back pocket, let's zoom back out. It's time to connect the dots and see what this symbolic war in the heavens is actually pointing to. And I gotta say, the answer might not be what you're expecting.
And here it is. This is the big reveal. This whole war in heaven, it's not really about some distant future event. It's actually a symbolic story about the incredible spiritual conflict that exploded on earth the moment Jesus was born and began his mission. The war in heaven is a perfect mirror for the war on earth.
And if you look for it, you can see this conflict playing out all over the place on the ground. You see it with King Herod desperately trying to kill a baby. You see it in a religious system that was so corrupt it actually worked against the very person it was supposed to be waiting for. I mean, his arrival literally shook both the spiritual world and the political world, stirring up every force you can imagine, seen and unseen, into a total frenzy.
So if the real battle is happening on earth, then who exactly are the dragon and its angels? This is where we get to peel back another layer and start identifying the earthly players on this unseen battlefield. This is where we get to this idea of the dragon system. See, the dragon isn't just one single bad guy. It's the whole rebellious alliance. We're talking the political might of the Roman Empire, the corrupt religious leaders, and all those deceptive spiritual forces, all working together in one spirit with one single goal, to stop God's plan in its tracks.
And when you look at it this way, you can see the two armies lined up so clearly. On one side, you have Michael's army, which stands for God's divine protection. Things like heavenly authority, those angelic warnings given to Joseph, and ultimately, God's justice. And on the other side, you have the dragon's army on earth, Herod's violent decree, those compromised temple leaders, and the raw political power of Rome.
There's this quote that just sums it up perfectly. The dragon is the full manifestation of all the worldly systems, political, religious, you name it, that are all about pride and power and have been standing against God's work since the very beginning. It's a conflict as old as time.
Okay, but if this dragon system is so huge and so powerful, how in the world was this war ever won? Well, this is where the story takes its most surprising and honestly its most powerful turn. The victory didn't happen in any way that anyone could have predicted. Here's the ultimate twist. Every single thing the dragon system did to try and destroy Jesus, it actually ended up fulfilling the very plan it was trying to stop. I mean, from the betrayal all the way to the cross, everything that was meant for absolute evil, God turned around and used for the ultimate good, the redemption of all of us. And this idea just completely flips our whole concept of victory on its head. This war wasn't won with a bigger army or a stronger angel. It was won through surrender. The Lamb, Jesus, won not by fighting back with force, but by willingly laying down his life. And this final thought, man, it just changes everything. The dragon, this huge, monstrous system of violence and power, it wasn't defeated by a bigger, badder force. It was cast down by a greater love, a self-sacrificing love that absorbed all the hate the system could throw at it and broke its power from the inside out. So looking at it this way leaves us with a pretty deep question to chew on. If the biggest, most important battle in all of history was won not through power and violence, but through sacrifice and love, how does that change the way we look at conflict? How does it completely redefine what a real victory looks like, not just in this ancient story, but in our own lives and our world today? It's definitely something to think about.